How do you build relationships with the world's top executives? My clients look to me to guide them, but I keep my skills sharp by chatting with the world's best relationship builders, like Shelley Zalis, founder and CEO of the Female Quotient, whose famous Equality Lounge is hosted at iconic gatherings like Davos, Cannes Lions, South by Southwest, and CES, just to name a few. Shelley, you've built a massive network and now regularly attend star-studded events. Can you share how you got here personally, beyond your intelligence and hard work, of course? We know that relationships with the right people can accelerate success. So, what relationship building tactics did you use early on in your career?
Relationships are the most important aspect of any deal. I don't think relationships are one and done. You do business with people that you like and trust. It's not about the company, it's about the person. I've had the same relationships I'm turning 63, so forever. I've kept those relationships whether people have been in business or also lost their job. It's not about keeping the relationship because they are a VP or EVP or CEO. They're my friends. I know how many kids they have. I know what they like to eat. I know when their birthdays are. It's personal. That's the power of what a relationship is. I help make them successful. That's what's so incredibly important to me. You can have a lot of people you know, but I think that it's the people you really care about that you are successful in business with. I don't do business or have relationships with people that are assholes. I don't care how much money they have or how much money they want to spend. If they're not good and kind people, I'm not going to have a relationship with them because I only work with people I want to work with. Life is too short.
Shelley, while attendees enjoy events, sponsors have clear business objectives, brand awareness, and sales. How have you consistently attracted top tier sponsors that book with you over and over? What are the specific ROI metrics these sponsors are looking for, and how does the Female Quotient deliver those results?
I really don't have sponsors. I have partners. They're partnerships because it's a value exchange. For me, a sponsor is putting a name on a wall. I don't think that's really what it's all about. It's about bringing value to the table. It's the same reason we don't put badges on anyone. I don't want anyone to come over and talk to you because you are a title or belong to a certain company. It's spend 5 minutes with someone you don't know, and you're going to learn something that's priceless. You're going to learn something new. And it's the same thing with our partners. Every one of our partners bring value to the table. I think that's what is so incredible. It's about the power of the collective. That's why there's no exclusivities in our lounge. It's not my lounge or yours, it's ours collectively. The lounges are free for everyone to come to, and it's brought to you by all of us. We might have Procter & Gamble and Unilever, Coke and Pepsi. It's about collaboratively working together for equality. And everyone will, if they see garbage on the floor, they'll pick it up because it's our home. And it's a safe, secure environment for all of us to have important conversations and to share the good, bad, and the ugly. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we are better. That's why I call it the place for conscious leaders. It's a safe space. I think it's a pretty unique place. We all pick up the mic and we're learning and growing together. It's brought the industry together in a pretty remarkable way. I think we're all partners. A sponsor is someone that is a pay for play. Partnership is sharing together, and we're partners.
You have a background in online research and now years of experience producing in person events. Where are you seeing data, technology, and real life experiences intersect? How can intentional community builders keep up with the trends?
There's nothing better than in real life gatherings because face to face interactions is where trust, bonding, those connections really happen. Before I created online research, we created industry standards for online advertising. We had some banners that were this size and some that were this size. There was no standards for that. So I brought 10 non-competitive advertisers, CMOs, to come together. I called it CIA, the Consortium for Interactive Advertisers. We built normative databases and created standards. And what was really amazing about it was I brought all of the CMOs together in remote locations for 2 days. It was so fun because none of these marketers knew each other, non-competitive categories. So it was okay. We would talk about we have to create standards for banner ads and we have to create for split screens and for what were they called, skyscrapers. And I said, you're right, because how would you buy online advertising if everyone is doing different size ads? We would meet in person, and the meetings in person created this trust amongst each other. I would do really weird things at these. I'm weird. And these were kind of conservative marketers. Procter and Gamble and M&M Mars and General Motors brands. I would have you'd look out your window and you'd see a fly fisherman fishing in the pool outside. And you would say, what? Or at another meeting, I would have crocodiles in New Orleans walking through the room. What? They were things that would surprise you. But remember, this was in a day and age where we were doing things for the first time. And it was this element of surprise, just to say anything is possible. Anything is possible if you want it, but we have to create it. Then the government called me and said, this is collusionary. So we actually gave this to IAB, and the IAB formed. It was an industry trade association that then created the standards. But if it weren't for us having the data where we benchmarked and then gave it to an industry trade association to form to create the normative databases, and had we not have met in person and created that trust amongst each other, it wouldn't have happened. You needed the 1-2 punch. You needed the data and you needed the in-person to create something that was never heard of before.
Shelley, you've led 3 different movements. Female Quotient's mission is to advance equality in the workplace. How do you measure this impact, and how has advancing this movement strengthened your business? What lessons can leaders learn from pursuing a larger mission alongside their business goals?
We're all about changing the equation and closing the gender gap. World Economic Forum says it'll take 134 years. We're going to flip it in 5. We do have the largest global community of women in business, over 6 million women across 30 industries, 100 countries. The way we achieve that is through our experiences at the largest global conferences around the world, from sports to finance to tech to the World Economic Forum and, of course, G20 and G7. We were just invited to the Vatican for Pope Francis's final finale to represent women and bring the most powerful women there. We're now in the media business too, because we do have the largest community of women. We now are in the transformation business through our Flipping Point initiative, which we will be launching in March. This is legacy, and living a legacy of change in the lifetime of my leadership. Advice to anyone out there is anything is possible if you want it. And it's all about intentional action, conscious leadership, prioritization, choice, and believe in yourself. And don't take no for an answer. There's always a solution. You just have to find it.
Anyone who hears you speak quickly recognizes your dynamic, sharp, energetic, and determined nature. You also know how to build community, lead multiple movements, and rally people behind your causes. It's a unique combination, which I call an activator. What has this combination of traits enabled you to achieve, and how can others develop this people-first approach?
When purpose meets passion, you're unstoppable. And you have to believe in what you're doing. It's lived experience. I don't know what tomorrow is, but it all comes from following my heart. I don't follow my hand. Nothing I do is in a textbook. For me, this is giving back with generosity, what I wish I had my whole career. It's the greatest gift I could give and the greatest gift that I could get. So for me to be surrounded by women supporting women is remarkable, because I did not have that in business. To be surrounded by conscious leaders men and women together. Gender equality is not a women's issue. It is all of us in this together. To close the gender gap or to bridge the gap is legacy for me. I will not retire until we collectively achieve that, is what keeps me going and keeps me with a young mindset. I'm all in and I love the journey that we're all on together. So let's do it. When you love what you do, it's called passion. When you don't, it's called stress. I have never worked for money. I have always worked for purpose and passion. I would say when purpose meets passion, you're unstoppable. Then the money will follow if you love what you do, because you'll do it really well then. I think we hold ourselves accountable together. It's a place where you have conscious, transformative conversation that leads to intentional action for change. We're doing things for the first time. When you do things for the first time, you also are not afraid to express yourself in this space where you're listening to hear, to grow together, to share, to collaborate, to engage, to make new friends, and just to let your hair down. That really is what happens in this space. You hang out. You're not scripted. We go unscripted, which a lot of people at first are a little afraid to do. It's like putting on a pair of shoes for the first time. It might be a little uncomfortable, but the more you wear them, the more comfortable you get. And you talk about things that you might surprise yourself talking about. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And then you're like, wow, look how far we've come. And it's not status quo anymore. It's all about possibility and it's transformative. And then you say, wow, I am so inspired. I'm so proud of myself. And it's power of the pack. A company alone has power. Collectively, we have impact. You unite in ways you never expected. That is about creating a new pattern, and you become a pattern maker. But when all of you together do it, that's when change happens. And you don't have to wait and watch for a decade to pass. Boom. You collectively create this new trend, and that trend forms the new pattern. And that pattern, you go from a moment to a movement overnight because you're all in agreement right away. It's not scary anymore because when you collectively go together, it's not so scary and it's a hell of a lot more fun.